Hello, this is Evangelist Robert L. McKim Sr. Well, I'm sitting right now in my vehicle. Been trying to get it to start, but it will not start. It tries. But it just turns over. That's how it does. Well, whenever these two neighbor guys I was talking to they said comes over. They over here. They said they were going to try to come over and see what's going on. One guy said it could be a fuse, but I'm thinking it's something with the fuel injection system. Now, there is a lady that has been saying some things on my Facebook here lately. And I had mentioned some things about where people that's out there that gets welfare that has maybe 2 kids or 3 kids, 2-3 kids. Like for instance, when I was driving school bus, and before that I was a home health aide. So I worked hard for my income. And when I wasn't working, we was on Aid to Defend, ADC, Aid to Dependent Children, which is welfare. And I had to work that off as well. I worked at the high school as a janitor during the summer. I also worked as a crossing guard, working off food stamps and the welfare. When I wasn't working for a paid job, I was also working off my welfare. I worked hard. At one point in time, I even worked for a township garage, chopping down trees with an axe. Not a chainsaw, an axe. I worked hard throughout my life. And now that I'm sick, people are condemning me. Because I can't work. They condemn me. They tell me I'm not owed anything, basically. I worked hard for what I have. Get it straight. I worked hard for what I have. And you don't have no right to say I am not owed anything. I worked hard. You look like you don't even know how to work a day in your life. You get a free handout from probably your rich parents. You might be 42 years old, or you have a rich husband. You might be 42 years old, but you can't fool this man of God. See, there's a lot of people out there who think, well, you must be working until the day you drop over dead. Well, if that's the case, there's a lot of people in the nursing homes that should be working still until they drop over dead. But see, that's not a Christian society. A Christian society puts old people in nursing homes. It takes away what they worked hard for. That's what a Christian legalistic society does. They take away what people work hard for. See, people that are working hard right now and they think that's all that matters to God. No, that isn't what matters to God. What matters to God is that you love one another and you give yourself not only to God, but also, and Jesus Christ, but also you give yourself to your brothers and sisters. That means everything that you own also belongs to your brothers and sisters in Christ. It doesn't belong to you. Oh, I work hard for it. I work hard for it. I work hard for it. But it doesn't belong to you. That's the problem. It belongs to God. And God says share. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Share what you have with your neighbor as you would with your family. What I'm trying to get across is, when I was talking about the food stamp issue, there are people out there that get way too much food stamps. They have a lot of food stamps left over. And what do they do with those food stamps? They sell them for drugs. They sell them for money to go and buy drugs. Now, is that right? We're getting $16 a month in food stamps. And there's people out there selling their food stamps for drugs. Is that right? No, it's not right. Not by a long shot. But they get away with it. Eventually they get caught. But in the meantime, they get away with it. I worked hard. And all I'm getting is a swift kick in the derriere. I'm preaching the truth because God has blessed me with what I have. And I know He'll keep on blessing me for what I have. Granted, I don't have a nice new house. I don't have a brand new car. I don't have a lot of nice things. Yeah, I got a computer, 2 computers with Windows 7 on them, and they work about half the time because we keep getting corrupted updates. Messing around with the computer. We'll see how much time here I got. Okay. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what's wrong with this vehicle. Drove, like I said, Friday. Came back home. Now it won't start. Yesterday, Saturday, today, Sunday won't start. My neighbor lady over here, she took me to the store yesterday, Saturday, to the bank, store, and then to the library and back home. I'm finding this cold, head cold, chest cold. The Robitussin CF that I'm taking has been causing my sugar to go high. This morning I wasn't feeling right. I took my sugar test and it was 211. The other day, it was before I even ate breakfast, and took my pills, it was 199, and it went down. But still, lots of times I just can't win for losing because I know there are people out there who are cursing me. They're not blessing me, they're cursing me. They're trying to say that my ministry is a sham. And now the lady is trying to say that my radio patrol is also a sham. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, lady. You don't know all the other people that are a part of my radio patrol, that are not on the internet, that's out there helping people. You don't know that. But so who gives you the right to say all these people that's helping other people are not? Who gives you the right? Nobody. Not your rich husband. Not your rich family. I don't care. Get it straight. Not everything is on the internet. My people don't want to communicate always on the internet. It's like with the ham radio club I belong to. The Tesco Amateur Radio Club. They have a Facebook site. They have a website. But not everybody is on the internet. Not everybody is internet savvy. So they don't get on the internet. They get on their radios instead. Their ham radios. Get it straight. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. Just ticks me off when people talk, but that they don't walk the walk. You don't know my struggles. I read a book about my struggles throughout my life. And even though all the struggles I've had throughout my life, Jesus has always been there behind the scenes, protecting me, watching over for me. So I can be here today to preach the truth. But you don't want to listen. You just want to run your mouth. You want to type on the computer and try to put me down. That is not what a Christian is supposed to do. You're not supposed to curse, even in writing. You're not supposed to curse your brothers and sisters. Renee's grandfather is he's 88, 89. And his health is really failing him big time. He's in the hospital. And Renee's upset that if anything happens to her grandfather, she won't be able to get over there, for the funeral. I told her maybe if I can't get the van running by then maybe her parents will come over and get us. But then, who knows if they'll take me over there with them because of my preaching. That's the only reason why we're not getting along. I want to get along with them. I was getting along with them until I started preaching, and then we're no longer welcome in their house. To stay in their house, basically. We're welcome in their house, but not to stay all night in their house. Another thing, too, is, I'm always called names. Pharisee. Moron. Well, no, not moron, but I've said moron because there's a lot of people out there who might be adults. They act like an adult, but they have a mindset of a child. See, let's get this straight. In the Gospels, in God's Word, there's the milk, which is what babies take in, and then there's the meat, which is what adults take in. There's a lot of people that just want to stay with the milk. They don't want to take in the meat. They want the love, the good, everything's fine. Nothing bad is going to happen. The milk that babies crave from their mothers. But then the meat says, yeah, everything's good, everything's fine. God, God will protect us. But God is also a vengeful God. He will chastise us when we do wrong, and He will judge the nations when we don't do what He says we're supposed to do. There's people out there that says, well, we're no longer under the law. We're under grace. Well, wait a minute. What is grace? So that's another thing too. You're getting it wrong. Grace is not the law or the new law. Grace has been since the beginning. Grace has been since the beginning. Grace is the love that God feels for us. He gave us grace when He gave us the law, the Torah. He gave us grace when He gave us Jesus Christ to die on the cross and rise again on the third day. Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law of the prophets, but to fulfill them. That means they're still in effect today. Just not like they were back then, but they're still in effect today because they're supposed to be on our hearts today. There's a lot of people that don't even want to write the law on their hearts. They say, well, we're no longer under the law. We're under man's law. Man's law only. But who do you serve? God or man? Answer that question. Who do you serve? God or man? But then they say, well, God ordained our leaders and the law. But what does ordain means? It means to appoint. Appoint. It doesn't mean that our leaders and our laws are above God's law. All it means is that we have leaders and we have laws on earth that's supposed to protect us on earth, but yet, we still have God's law to govern our lives. And there's a lot of people that don't want God's law no more. They're throwing God's law out, and they're making up this false doctrine of grace. And they're trying to say we're no longer under grace. Under the law. We're just under grace, which is a false doctrine. Now, I know I kind of got off on a tangent here because I started preaching. Well, I was trying to mean about the food stamp situation was basically, like I said, there's people out there that gets more food stamps than what they deserve. Well, the government could be, doing something a little bit different. They could be calculating things differently. Like, how many kids do you get? Well, how about $100 per child? What about the adults? Well, $50 per adult. Or something on that order. I'm just throwing some numbers out there. So me, when I was married to my ex-wife, we got over $300, $365 a month in food stamps. That was for 4 of us. There's families out there that gets $400, $500 in food stamps. Do they really need all that? I mean, do they really eat that much? And I'm being called a glutton. My doctors tell me I need to eat or my sugar goes down. So if my sugar goes down and I pass out, then I'm going to get hell from my doctors because they'll say, why aren't you eating right? I'll say, well, because there's stupid people out there that thinks I shouldn't eat right. But you know what? I'm not going to listen to you. I'm listening to God and I'm listening to my doctors. I'm not listening to you. So, you know, that's another reason why I feel if I can't get my vehicle fixed and, you know, they come over and get Renee and they won't say, let me go with them because this man thinks I should shut up and listen to him because he was a sergeant in the army. And it's like his way or the highway. I got him to admit what he did with his ex-wife. Now, what kind of man in his really right state of heart and mind would take all the groceries back to the store to make sure that, wasn't overcharged? But yeah, I saw the video. I saw the video from the talk show. He also, had holy underwear, holding up his holy underwear. Or his ex-wife was, I can't remember which. But someone was holding up his holy underwear and saying, look here, he won't even go buy new underwear. And he took the food back to the base store. Because he wants to be in control. And when he can't be in control of somebody, then they're his enemy. I don't want to be enemy of anybody. But yet, he says he loves me. But he will only love me if I will shut up and bow down and kiss his feet. Now, I'm not doing that. And because I will not do that, then I'm his enemy. This vehicle won't start. I don't want to run the battery down. I got a full tank of gas. Just, that wasn't one start. I don't know when they're going to come over. They said they were going to come over. But, we'll see. It's been trying to snow here. Been kind of like a wet, like almost like half rain, half snow. But get this straight, please. Will you? That one, the Radio Patrol, does a lot of things behind the scenes of the internet that you can't see on the internet. And two, the food stamp situation was where I was trying to say that they could give some of that money that the people are selling for drugs to the elderly and the disabled. But see, the people out there don't want to look at me as being disabled. They think there's something I could do. Like, oh yeah, she said that I could be like Stephen Hawkins. I am not going to stoop that low and denounce my God like Stephen Hawkins did. He says there is no such thing as God. There is a God. I saw Jesus with my own two eyes, or how I should say this, with my soul, with my spirit. I saw Jesus. Jesus sent me back from a near-death experience to tell you and the rest of the world you're heading down the wrong road of life. Got God bless you. Have a blessed day.